Hey guys, this is Shaquana again. I know it's been a while. Um, I thought it was like maybe 3 weeks, maybe a month, but it's actually been 2 months since I've done bariatric blurbs. And so I just want to say, hey, how is everybody doing? Okay, so I'm going to jump right in. This is going to be kind of like two videos in one since it's been a while. My last video, I said that I would talk about the day of surgery, and I'm going to do that, but I also have a special announcement. Okay, so just going to jump right in. So my day of surgery, January 26, 2016. So yes, it's been over a year now. That day, I was due to come into the hospital, I believe at like 5:30 in the morning. I came in with my husband, my children, and my aunt, and my mom, and came in and, did all the little paperwork and stuff like that. Met with the anesthesiologist. They put me to sleep. The surgery took 2 hours. And when I woke up, I'm going to talk about being very transparent and very honest and blunt about my experience. When I first woke up, um, the pain that I felt was excruciating, and it was not pain from actual incisions. It was actually pain from gas. It was gas pain. Why did I have such gas pain? Because during the entire time during surgery, they actually pump air. They have a constant flow of air going into your stomach. I forget the reason why they do that, but it's literally they pump air into your stomach. It does something. It helps them with whatever they have to do in there. And so, of course, when they close you back up, your stomach is full of air. And you have to think about it. You've been on this long pre-op diet. Mine's, I told you guys, was a few days short of a full month. And then, of course, that 24 hours before, you can't eat anything, just fluid. So you're talking about stomach completely empty and filled with nothing but air. So I had like this excruciating gas pain, like right here. Right here. It just felt like I was dying. And my first thought was, in my mind, oh my God, what did I do to myself? And I'm being honest about that because I'm sure a lot of you who have been through it, that was probably your initial reaction. And some of you who have not been through it, that may be your initial reaction. Everybody's not the same, but that was my initial reaction. I'm like, what did I do to myself? Oh my God, I can't even take this back. Why is this feeling this bad? Like the pain was so bad, it was hard for me to even inhale. I was very groggy from the anesthesia. And so usually when you first wake up, they wait about 2 hours before they start to make you walk around, because they don't want you to just sit there because you can develop blood clots. And also, they say that they like you for you to walk off the gas, because they do not, in the hospital, do not give you anything for the gas pain. So I was very groggy. So once the 2 hours happened after surgery and I woke up and everything like that, I was still very groggy. So I took another nap. And once I woke up around like maybe 4 to 5 hours after is when they tried to make me walk. And it was so hard because I was still so groggy from the anesthesia and the pain medication that I could barely walk. I was so high. And then the pain was so bad that I just felt like I couldn't walk. But my husband walked with me, my mom walked with me. We walked really slow around the floor. And I made it through. It was very painful, and I really struggled with the gas pain. And so because I struggled so bad with the gas pain, I couldn't start intaking my fluids as soon as I was supposed to. So it delayed me intaking my fluids, because you have to have you have to be able to drink a certain amount of fluids before you. Yeah, so you have to take a certain amount of fluids in before you're able to be discharged. So I did do the leak test. They take a leak test shortly after you take the surgery, basically to make sure that they closed up everything and there's no leakages. You go in the x-ray center or part of the hospital, and they give you this really nasty drink and you have to drink fast, which is something that you cannot do once you've had, I know for sure, VSG, the sleeve. You can't gulp your drink, but you have to drink fast, which made me so nauseous, and it was very painful to drink really fast. And then they make you get in the machine and they watch the fluid go through to see if there's any leaks. It was so hard for me because I wasn't able to drink fast. I was not prepared for that. And then so it made me really nauseous, and it was very painful on top of the gas. So I was gagging, needing to vomit, and they were trying to get me to at least try to hold it in so they can do the test. So I wouldn't have to do it over. And they did the test. I managed to hold it in until the very last minute when they were done. And then, you know, I had to release that. That was that. So everything went well with the leak test. I didn't have any leakages or anything like that. So now as far as the fluids, like I said, I was delayed in consuming my required amount of fluids for me to be discharged. So I did stay there extra day. It's usually like 2 days for some people, but I didn't get discharged until 3 days. Because that first day I didn't intake any fluids because I was so groggy off of the pain medicine, and the gas was so bad I just could not manage it. And I was doing a lot of dry heaving, however you say that. You know, I was having to vomit, but nothing was coming up. And so I had a really rough day. The first day was really, really, really rough. And in my mind, I'm just like, oh my God, what did I do to myself? Skip past the first day. The second day was a lot better. I was able to start intaking the fluids towards the afternoon of the second day because some of the gas pain let up. I will tell you right now, the walking helped. The more I started walking on that floor, the more the gas was coming out. I know for myself, I found that I don't really burp that much since I've been sleeved, but the gas comes out the other way. And by all means necessary, I promise you, you won't even care how the gas comes out. You're just going to feel so much relief when it does, because I had never felt gas pain like that. It was excruciating. And so the more I walked, the more the gas released. Now, like I said, they don't give you gas medicine in the hospital, but I did bring my own because I did my research, and so I brought my own. I had Gas-X chewables, and I had the Gas-X strips that you stick on your tongue. And so in between that, I was walking and I was taking that on my own, and I promise you it helped. I was able to keep down my fluids. I didn't have any problems as far as vomiting up my required amount of fluids that I had to intake. It was very hard to meet the requirements for it, and they give you these little tiny, like the little medicine cups, but your stomach is so small when they first do it. It's very hard to consume the amount that they want you to, but I pushed myself so I can be discharged, and so I did it. And so my hospital experience, the very first day was really rough, and I, in my mind, was like, what did I do? Once that first day passed, I was good. I was good, and I was excited about, you know, what was going on. So, you know, I was excited, also nervous about what was to come, but for the most part, I was optimistic. I was nervous about what was to come after I got discharged, like how my life would be different. Look at my flowers. But I had a positive outlook. And so that was my first day. That was the day of surgery, and that's how that went my whole time, my stay at the hospital. That's how that went. And so I'm just going to make a brief little tiny announcement. I got some good feedback from Bariatric Blurbs as far as people sending me messages saying that, you know, they really appreciate me being so open about my experience and telling the stories and stuff like that, because it's helping them, because they've already had questions or they've been inquiring. And I've been finding so many people, you know, I do the wellness coaching and wellness motivating, and bringing awareness of like food addictions, things like that. I speak on things like that overall, but I feel that it's very important to meet the need of everybody. And it's just been so many people who have had weight loss surgery or just had or inquiring about it that have really been coming to me for different things. And so here in Richmond, Virginia, I find that there's not a lot of resources as far as bariatric support and support groups. There's only one that I know of, and I know most hospitals, if they do bariatric surgery, they'll have their own support group. I do have one at the hospital where I had my bariatric surgery, but on the nights that the one night a week that they have their meetings, I actually teach a class. So I am not able to go. And there's just a lack of resources. And there's so many people out there who need other people who are going through the same thing to be able to relate to. And some things you can't have anybody relate to you sometimes because they're not in that position. So brief introduction to this, and I'm going to make a total different video specifically for it, but I just want to share with you guys. I have now started my own bariatric meetup here in Richmond, Virginia, and it is called No Boundaries Bariatric Support Meetup. No Boundaries. And I'll talk more about that in my next video, so stay tuned for that. But that is it for Bariatric Blurbs for this week, and I will be back on it as far as my videos and things like that. And so my next Bariatric Blurbs video, I believe I will talk about, I don't know yet. We'll wait and see. I guess my little train of thought and things I went through maybe when I first got home. We'll see. You just gotta stay tuned. Bye, guys.